here at Vancity Throwdown today, I'm joined by none other than Mike Ross himself.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you guys for having me.
So, how was the flight, Mike?
Nice. Good question. So I guess people are telling me that I came here during the worst time. There's a big storm, so my flight was delayed 4 hours until it was eventually canceled. So I had to rebook and get another flight out of LAX to get down here. I was supposed to be here at 4 o'clock, and I ended up getting in at 10 p.m. So it's, my flight was great.
So what is your first impression of the local Street Fighter community here?
It's super awesome. I mean, it kind of reminded me, just of, the early days of doing community events. There was about 20 people, I would say. Hold up, Steve. Well, I'm going to fight it. We keep it going. All right, now I feel better. Okay. No, so, it was really cool. A lot of people were nice, super friendly. We actually all went out to go eat even after we were playing casual, so it was very, very welcoming.
That's good. That's good. So, what do you think of Street Fighter 5, I guess? Because you come from Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
What are your impressions of the game? Since it's not fully out yet, how do you think it's going to develop as more characters come out?
I'm definitely interested to see what they continue to do with it. I'm kind of I like to be surprised just like everybody else. These are new seasons coming out. They're going to make some changes to the game, we're assuming, right? They haven't really given us any details. I just want to see, I hope that they just keep working on this game and they keep making improvements. They keep adding new content. They keep making it fun and engaging for the people that play it. So I'm excited.
So as far as esports is concerned, the Street Fighter scene has been around for over a decade now.
Yes.
It's still going quite strong. But lately, the media has been getting a lot of attention, putting a lot of attention onto other games such as League of Legends, Dota 2, and even Heroes of the Storm, which is slowly gaining traction. So right now, esports is really in the spotlight right now of all these investors. But Street Fighter has been around for a very long time. So how do you think it's going to change now with so much more people investing into teams?
I think that it's going to, it's going to have two roles to play, right? Because, like you said, it's been around before this notion of esports existed. So one can assume that it will be around after. I don't want to say after, but it'll always exist. There's always going to be a niche community for it. But with the inception of esports now, it's only going to be, really great for the people that play it, the people that watch it. Why do I say that? Well, if you play it, some people just want to do this for a living. And I mean, it's crazy to say, people can shun and point their fingers and say, no, all they want. But there are plenty of players now making six figures, just by playing a game. So I want to see esports continue to grow. I want to see more teams. I want to see more people getting involved with it. And I don't have to worry about that because I already know what's happening.
So as far as Street Fighter goes, and similar to other fighting games, there's no centralized hub for people to gather to play most of the time. Because you think about games such as League of Legends, all the teams all live in LA and they all play in LA, or in Germany they all play in the same area.
Right.
But then for these games, you have to travel from place to place. So how do you think this traveling will affect the lifespan of a pro player and the barrier of entry, because there's so many different tournaments to go to enter and earn these Capcom Pro Tour points?
I mean, I still we're still in the beginnings kind of of getting that really online system fleshed out. So yes, we do still have to travel, but that's one thing that I think our community just differs from everything else. We have to have that face-to-face interaction always, which is why our community, I think, is just, gosh, I'm going to get crucified for this. This is why I think our community is just so much better than so many other ones,
It's definitely a lot more social because you have to sit next to the person you're playing against. You can't be toxic and flame them online.
Right, exactly. There's no safety behind the computer. So, you're playing these other games like League, Dota, whatever. I see the most racist. I see all kinds of just horrible things being said, right? But when you come to a fighting game event, it's all out the window. And if you do say something, at least you're saying it, to my face or something, and that means something. But yeah, the social interaction that the fighting game community brings just destroys all the other communities.
So one of the organizers, Air, and you yourself, you've been around for let's say the esports scene. Yeah. Well, I'm using that word because it's what we use now to call it. But you've aged quite well into it, because the lifespan of most pro players isn't too long. So let's say like it's game-to-game basis, but it's around like 5 to 8 years at most. And they transition to either a coaching role or an analyst role. But you've like transitioned nicely to working with Twitch now. So how's that been going out for you?
So it's it's definitely is a life-altering experience. Probably one of the most important moves that I've ever made. And it's just taught me so much. It's taught me so much about esports. I have an understanding of the industry that I can say confidently that very, very few do, and I thank my Twitch family so much for helping me with that. It's like, that's the type of knowledge and information you can't put a price tag on. So it's definitely been great, and I still have a lot more developing to go as a person and projects that I want to do as well. So just getting that esports, that transition into the Twitch role is a huge step. And the next transition, who knows? Like we're just gonna continue to roll with it. But one thing I want to mention, since you were talking about the lifespan of pro players, I still have to quote, our Lord and Savior in the fighting game scene, Mr. Daigo Umehara, who says, Street Fighter is the one game where you actually get better the older you get. And he's still winning tournaments. He's winning majors. So
He's getting top 8. So
he's getting top 8s all the time. So I don't know. Who knows what the average pro lifespan of a pro Street Fighter player is?
So when can we expect the next talk show? It's been around a month since your previous one.
So when does this go up?
Maybe in a week.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I don't hold back anything, so I'll just tell you. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know right now. So I've been traveling. I haven't been home in like over a month, and there's gonna be some new transition coming up very soon. So I'm not sure. I might take a little break, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So how involved are you still in like the Street Fighter scene? Do you actually practice Street Fighter 5 a lot? And do you think you'll play casually, or because I know a lot of people have like asked you this on like Reddit before, like, so are you not allowed to actually play in any of the tournaments now that you're an affiliate of Twitch?
So what happened was actually is being with Twitch is, Twitch didn't really care too much. They're like, oh yeah, go do what you want. And then, but it didn't make sense to Capcom, which I agreed with, is they said, it probably is best if you don't enter because we want you to, we'd love if you kind of did like more of the hosting stuff for the events and stuff, but mainly we can't risk having people call like possible bracket rigging. Because let's just say this, right? Picture this, if you will, and I know this might be very hard for some of you to imagine. Imagine I enter a tournament, I win Capcom Cup. I'm an employee with Twitch, working directly with Capcom. Let's just say I didn't struggle at all. They're going to say, oh, well, he knew the matches, he rigged the brackets or something, or he's, they did something, he knows something about the game because he's blah, blah, blah. So just to avoid any possible conflicts, it's best if I just sit on the sidelines. And I have no problem with that. I knew what I was getting myself into when I signed up for it. So because of that, no, I never really practiced that hard. I was playing maybe once a week for about an hour. Now, but I am getting more interested in kind of just being solid at the game because if I talk trash, I got to make sure I can back it up. So I'm going to start playing at least maybe an hour a day, just to get back into the groove of things.
So you've seen a lot of controllers in your days. What are some of the most unique setups you've seen? Because unlike other games where everyone has a Corsair keyboard, SteelSeries mice, Razer like headsets, like what sets fighting games apart is like the control pad for people. Everyone has their own. What are some of the more unique ones you've seen?
Well, obviously here, Canadian joysticks, a guy came in with his Adidas shoebox and his Tom shoebox and has a custom stick made out of that. I love the shoebox sticks. I remember Evo 2010 when I was playing with GamerBee, I think him and his boy had a stick made out of a red ringed Xbox. So out of an Xbox that was dead, they converted it into a stick. I was like, that's the best use I've ever seen out of a dead Xbox. That one's probably still my favorite to this day.
Oh, so what are your thoughts about Japan finally having its fighting game tournament that everyone's always wanted since 2011? It was planned, but then that tsunami happened, and it had to get delayed for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
But Evo's like finally working with Japan to host a tournament. So are you going to fly over there and like do some casting? And how excited are you for you to get the Asian Pacific region into the fighting game fold? Because there's been kind of a divide. Mostly when I think fighting game communities, it's America is like where it's at, but now like Japan's like starting to get into the fray.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. You know, that's one thing that I know Japan acknowledges is that America kind of has it on lock with in terms of presentation, support for the community, the actual community. You know, they come to EVO and they're just like, you know, there's so many people here. And, you know, I remember when it was cool when 5 Japanese players showed up, you know, and now you're getting like 200 showing up to EVO. And now it's gotten to the point where it's like, hey, we can have it here and people will come to us now. So, yeah, I will be there. I don't know what my role will be there. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any casting, you know, hosting. There's very little details at this time, but, you know, we'll see. But I'll 100%, I'll be there no matter what, at least just to spectate and eat godlike food. So I'll be there.
All right, so just to wrap things up for a bit. So what do you have to say to your fans who are still like following you?
Well, you know, if I still have any out there, I just want to, you know, definitely thank you guys for your continued support. You know, I'm doing this, you know, partly for you guys, I guess. I know, like, I don't know. It's always weird to say that to fans because I don't know if I have fans. I just feel like we're all just a big community, and I'll just say this: yeah, not to the fans, to the community that's watching. Just continue supporting your local communities. That's what I want to say more than anything. It doesn't matter if you guys have 5, 10, 20, 500 people. You're still a part of it, and you got to help make it grow.
All right, thanks for the interview, Mike, and I'll hope to see you later.
All right. I like that.
All right, cut the video.